I think when you think about all that I've done in the sport, and I think about defending titles in both weight classes, I think more about the story, right, of going into Boston after being knocked out, right, and having to really build myself up against a hot guy like Volkan Ozdemir was at the time, and then having to go up to heavyweight and fight the most accomplished heavyweight the UFC ever had, and then to defend that belt on 3 weeks' notice. So the accomplishment is great, but I think about the story that surrounds all that went into doing that, and it really, really does make it special. Here's the thing about my career, right? I set these big goals. Like, I remember sitting with my wife, and we would sit in our little apartment, and we'd go, man, imagine, you know, this is when Kane used to do appearances. Some days he'd go for a day and make 30 grand. I'm like, man, imagine if there could be a day that we would ever do this. You know, we would live for it. You know, like, how much winning do I have to do in order to get to that point? And then I just said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get us financially secure and be successful in this thing that I do. And I just went to work. Selena and I had a young son, right? Our boy was born in 2011, you know, so you're talking me fighting Devin Cole for $15,000, living in San Jose, which at the time I was making $1,300 a month. My rent was $1,300 a month, which today is cheap for San Jose. But I had a $1,500 a month sponsorship from Mike DeSabato at Cage Fighter, and that was all I essentially made. So her and I had like a $175 buffer to try to make it every month. So I would teach wrestling lessons, and then honestly, my wife got on government assistance, you know, when we were first starting out, to get our baby his milk and his food, and just for us to eat for a little bit. And then I was a two-time Olympian, and I didn't have anything. You know, I didn't have anything as a two-time Olympian, a world medalist, and the captain of the Olympic team, you know, and I left wrestling in a way due to my bad habits, not as well as I would have liked to have left my sport. But I understand that for as good as things can be one day, they can be very bad the next. I will always be grateful to Scott Coker, because my first fight was only 3 weeks after I started this thing. I needed to make some money, right? And he put me in there with a kid that was a state champion wrestler, right? So if push came to shove, I would be able to go and out-wrestle this kid. Logic says an Olympian should be able to out-wrestle the state champion high school kid. So I beat this kid named Gary, and I felt great, made $10,000, and now I'm on the way. And about a month later, I'm training, and I'm getting cute. Bob's telling me, just conventional is where you fight, you know. And for me, it's better because I wrestled with my left leg in front, so I didn't have to change anything. Right. All my shots were still available, but I wanted to be a southpaw, right? Because I thought it looked cool, you know, like I'm trying to move and dip and dodge like Mayweather. Yep, kick right in the face by Cain Velasquez, broken nose. I got on the plane the next morning, went back to Oklahoma. I was like, I'm out of here for a month, you know, with a broken nose. And I had to really think about, man, is this something that I can really do?
Right.
Because it hurts so bad. I mean, blood went everywhere. I turned, oh my gosh. I turned around like in the middle of the ring, turned towards Bob and went, oh my God. And he was like, I told you not to fight southpaw because it opens up kicks, you idiot.
Right.
And from that day on, I swear I've never tried to fight southpaw again, but it didn't scare me off. You know, when I got home and I processed everything, I just said I should probably listen more, and that's what I did. I think you have a choice whenever things like that happen, you know, with the tragedy and, you know, not accomplishing the ultimate goals. You can say, this will ruin me, or I'm gonna use this to propel me to even greater things. And it's not always easy. You know, it's sometimes you wanna give up, you know,
right.
and I've dealt with adversity, not only personally, but in competition, being in the NCAA finals with Kel Sanderson, and then losing the Olympic bronze medal match, up 2-0 in overtime, and then giving up 3 points with a minute left in the match,
right.
Not having an Olympic bronze medal, to not wrestling at the Olympics a second time, to losing to Jones twice. Like, I've had to deal with a lot of things professionally also, but I always try to remind people that for all these failures, I earned the right to fail. They didn't say, DC, you're a great guy, you're gonna wrestle for an NCAA title, or you're a great guy, you're gonna wrestle for a world or Olympic medal. You know, I had to earn those things, and through my resilience and my competitiveness, I earned those opportunities to compete against some of the greatest athletes in the sports that I've chosen.